3, 2, 1. You know how you make that peak? I'm trying to. All right. You can do some intro, outro stuff. All right, we're done. We're done. Hello, episode 4. We're back again. Awesome Charles Andre, the woman sitting next to me, the woman, the myth, the legend, my wife. Yo, all right. So this is my wife, Sharon. Those of you that work with me, you have seen vests, you've seen hats, you've seen fanny packs, satchels. This dude was like, I like your satchel. I'm like, this is not a satchel. They be messing with me about my fanny packs, but I'm a dad. I guess I just got to have fanny packs now. But she personalizes all my stuff. Everything you've seen as far as a cool vest. I'm sweating. Sorry.
I was going to say your glasses are foggy.
They're fogging up. Everything you've seen that's been cool that you've seen me walking around with that's been pressed and come up with the artwork. This is the woman that does it for me. My wife, Sharon.
Hello.
I was going to say hello, but you already did it. Okay, so what got you started, ma'am?
So I'm in early childhood, have been in early childhood education since like 2004, 2005. I was introduced to the Cricut, and using the Cricut, I was able to do different decorations for my classroom, create things for bulletin boards. So that was my very first Cricut. And
it's right over there, actually.
It looks and like he tries to make me get rid of it, and it's not going anywhere.
It is a dinosaur.
It's a dinosaur. It probably still even works, but it's part of my journey, and that's why I keep it.
Understandable.
But that's where I really started in my love for crafting, creating things for my classroom, doing different activities with my kids. So I really started with cardstock. The very first one, I pretty much did everything with cardstock.
I don't know what cardstock is. Does anybody else know what is cardstock? You have to.
Cardstock is the thick paper.
Oh, okay. I knew what cardstock was.
That's so
All
like
right.
cards, when I would cut out words for bulletin boards, cut out the pictures.
Yeah.
That's what I would do with that.
Okay. Got it.
And then I progressed to the vinyl, which heat transfer vinyl was for shirt designs, like the ones we have on today, because I designed both of them.
You did that one too?
Yes.
I didn't know you did that one.
This one is for every October is Breast Cancer Awareness. We had Spirit Week at school. Needed a shirt.
Got it.
There, I created
she makes
it.
all of our stuff. I love it. Like, I come home, I'll see something on Google, and I'm like, hey, can we do this? And we'll make a couple of tweaks to it, and then I got the shirt.
No, he'll be sitting on the toilet.
Hey!
On his phone.
First of all.
And then he will send me a picture. Hey, I want
this.
this.
I'm cutting this out. Hang on, let me make you gotta clap to make like a peak in the sound so you know where it cuts.
No, listen, you said you want it funny. So
I don't want to embarrass it.
But who doesn't go to the bathroom with their phone?
They don't talk about it. That's what we don't talk about. But okay. True. So from the facilities. That's in my wife's stuff.
But, it comes in really handy when the kids have Spirit Week.
Yeah.
They tell you at the last minute, Mom, I need a shirt for this.
Very last minute. Man,
you
I feel
can
like
create
I'm sweating. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
And
I know everybody at my job, once they see this, they're like, his hair's still shining. First of all, you don't talk about my people. The bald people have rights too. So let's keep going.
It's funny because you have not always been bald.
I haven't. But
So.
God thought it would be funny to take my hairline and make it go further and further and further back.
That's only
And I'm not going to be one of them dudes trying to hang on to it. I'm just like, no. I Beijing till I couldn't Beijing.
Listen, I told you for November, no shave November. You should just let it grow out and just be.
I'm going to tell y'all a true story of what this woman did to me one time. And only few people have heard it. People I worked with in cosmetology heard it a lot. When I first started thinning, it was
You're
right
not even
here.
thinning. It wasn't thinning. It was just
thinning.
receding.
Woman.
It was receding.
So this is what she did to me. I was sitting on the bed And she came up to me. I hadn't shaved my head. This is when I first started shaving a little bit. She came up to me, and you ever had like your hands are kind of cold in the morning? She took her fingertips and placed it right where my head was thin so I could feel the coolness of her hand where my hair was thinning, and she giggled. And I shaved my head right after. I was like, I'm done with this. I'm done. She don't remember that at all. She giggled, and I was done. So now we can get back on track with things that don't hurt my feelings. So. Okay. Wow. So we were talking, and you said like the first big order you've done, because my wife doesn't just do, like, hey, I want this shirt from one person. She's actually done orders. Like, how large a size? That was for our son.
So when I first started, so like I said, I started doing paper crafts and things like that. Then when our kids have always been active in sports or activities.
Right.
So I moved to doing heat transfer when our daughter was competing with baton and we were going to Florida. Yeah. So I made me and a couple of the moms a shirt to, to show our support of the kids. But then the first time I actually made a order for non-relatives was when our son played. He was probably 9. As a matter of fact, I was looking at one of the pictures, and it was the 9U championship.
Okay.
So when he was playing tackle football for the first time, we made it to the championships. And so, a couple of the parents were like, oh, well, let's, really get team shirts. And so I was like, well, hey, I do shirts. And they were like, I think it was like an order of 40 shirts.
Was it?
So
that's a lot.
Then that's the first time I'm like, I'm not ironing all these shirts.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting the heat press that you see behind us.
Right here.
So I've had that since 2000. Let's see. That was probably like 13, 14.
Somewhere in there. Well, I mean, we were just looking at DJ's little football.
That was flag football.
So what I'm saying is beyond that, I would give it like 2 years, probably 14, 15-ish.
I think somewhere around there. 13, either 14. Way. So, but then I started like really making shirts, Mm-hmm. So I made the team shirts, put the kids' names on the back. Then I started making shirts, just like crazy, because it was so much easier to press them than to iron them. So that kind of began that journey. And from there, once, we saw that the capability of that mm-hmm. was when you really started, encouraging me to think big, mm-hmm. to think out of the box. So mm-hmm. that's when I kind of started on this journey. But then Facebook and YouTube sent me on to a whole nother journey. Because after I did the shirt thing, I started learning to make tumblers and cups. And that's where my glitter obsession came in.
I told her we are not going to show this cup, but this is my favorite cup. This is her first.
No, the first one was the coffee mug with this
design.
There was. There's a white coffee mug. It's the same design.
But the sparkle, I'm trying to get it down. There was something to the sheen of it that just was off. It was kind of like a golden instead of silver.
No, it was white, after a while, because this was epoxy.
Man, yeah. So this is still my favorite. I won't even take this to work, because if I drop it or somebody takes it, I'm going to lose them all, because I love Michael Jackson. And I still got my other one. So she doesn't do all glitter, or at least I told her I don't want everything all glitter. Right. And then you see all that glitter she has. It literally goes that way and further.
So the funny thing is I started off with buying the glitter from like Michael's and Pacatans. And then I didn't realize that was considered craft glitter.
Yeah.
So this is like synthetic glitter. So it's like glitter. But it can get expensive.
It gets very expensive. I tried to buy her some glitter one time. And I sent her a message from the store, and I had a whole bunch of glitter they had marked down. And she was like, Charles, that's not the right glitter. I'm like, it's glitter, though. She was like, it's not the right glitter.
But it's not the same. It really isn't the same. And then, because you have fine glitter, chunky glitter, mixed glitter. So it becomes a lot. You can break it down to a science.
Yeah.
But so then I started with the glitter, which kind of sent me down the road of anything's possible. Mm-hmm. I've done, that's what I will have some pictures of the different things I've done. But there's the world's endless possibilities. I've done shirts for birthday parties. And his nephews contacted me one time because he was like, he wanted a shirt for when he was revealing. They were having a gender reveal.
Do you have pictures of that we'll be able to put up? Okay.
Yeah.
So
No, anything I talk about, we'll kind of put up,
okay.
you know.
Perfect.
And then I really moved on to the cups and the glitters. Like, I have one of my coworkers, she is a big supporter of me. And so like, she'll call me because her daughter wants a cup or whatever. So they'll send me the design. I kind of like when people kind of give me that freedom to kind of do whatever, because what people need to know is when you get a handmade craft, it's not going to be like at the store where everything's going to be perfect. There's going to be a little imperfection. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be the same as every single thing you do is not going to be the same. It might be a little bit, you know, off-centered or a little tilted. But I will say I try to get everything as close to the design that is sent to me. So like when somebody sends me a design, I really try to make sure like the colors, I'll send mock colors, or if I'm mixing glitter, I'll mix the glitter and send it and say, hey, is this the color, or do you want more of this color or more of the other color? Kind of, you know, making sure the customer is happy. We've kind of had that conversation of how big to take this. Mm-hmm. So at one point in time, I did create a name, and I registered it with the state and everything. So Absolutely Blissful Creations is kind of my company name, if you want to call it a company right now, because crafting is my getaway. So when I've had a stressful day at work or a stressful week, or I just need to relax, I'll just craft. Like, you know, using heat transfer vinyl and making designs. Like, I used it, but hold on, I do have an example.
Don't pull too hard. You just almost took your headphones off.
Well, weeding. So like if you're a crafter or know anything about crafting, you know what weeding is. Pretty much is when you take this design and you cut it out, it's on a big square of vinyl. And then you have to use a weeder and pick out all the extra pieces of it. And that to me is relaxing. Some people can't. That sounds
stressful.
And when he watches me do it, he's like,
I don't want
what do you do? So like even with this design, so like anywhere where you see white, I had to take the pink out. So that to me like is relaxing.
So the red on this, you had to take out the center?
This is total different.
Oh.
This is totally different.
See, I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Because this is a keychain. So this is a keychain I made when our son was playing for the Mini Pioneers. And basically what this is another thing, this is not vinyl. Well, it has some vinyl, but it's not heat transfer vinyl. It's just regular sticky vinyl. Oh. But this red is actually painted on there. The red and the black I painted. The white is vinyl. And then his name is vinyl. So that's totally different. So I got into doing epoxy and then UV resin.
So did I just help us segue into something else?
Well, I guess you did.
I didn't even mean to do that on purpose. It just happened.
So I've done things. I've done keychains.
I messed that up.
Once again, like this is glittered vinyl. I glued it, glittered it, and then I put this on vinyl, and then I used I think this one is epoxy.
Yeah, maybe like make sure they can see.
So epoxy is it's a hard coating.
There we go.
So for anybody that doesn't know what epoxy is, it's a hard coating.
Okay.
The only thing with epoxy is it gives off a stench, and technically you're supposed to wear a respirator when you use epoxy because the chemicals are so damaging.
Oh wow.
And a lot of people have allergic reactions to it, so they can't use it. So I did switch to like that Michael Jackson cup. This one is an epoxy coating that has a what's called bright tone.
So you're saying these two are different,
and you can tell because this is a lot thicker than this is.
Well, when holding it in my hand.
Well, they can't tell, but this has a thicker coating.
I can feel it.
And with epoxy, you have to wait 3 hours in between.
It's a long. That I do know. It's a long time.
So, and actually, no, it's more than 3 hours. It's almost 24 hours before you can put another coat on.
Yep.
With the bright tone, because it's water based, one, it's so much healthier to use in a closed space like this. And you put it on, I apply it like every 4 to 5 hours. I let it dry and then but I will say it takes way more coats.
Okay.
So it can be a longer process, but it's so much healthier than using the epoxy. And then like for the keychains, I use UV resin, which is quick because you just use a UV light and it cures.
And that's like this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So any of these, like this one I did.
Yeah, this was like my original name I came up with. Oops. It wasn't Awesome Charles Andre. It was actually Charles Andre Podcast. And then I realized everybody that's young thinks cat means lie. And I'm like, I don't want to.
Well, actually, it wasn't even a podcast.
No, but I changed it because I'm like,
but it was it was photos when you were doing photography. It was Charles Andre photos.
Man, I've been fumbling through this for a minute trying to figure some stuff out. But where I made my mistake was I was doing it for other people. So me wanting to sit down and let my personality kind of come out and talk to people that are interested in me or have, like my wife, like she said, she's got a background in early childhood education, but she's a crafter. People at my job, after they've seen the vest that she's done for me, they're like, man, how come your wife doesn't do this all the time? And I try to push her to the point to where she'll be like, no, I don't want to because of the pressure. So, it's a journey, no different than this. Like if you look at my last video, I think it was like 3 months ago, because I've been working a lot, which I'll put out another video because something good has happened from all that work. But for what my wife is working on right now, it's more like hobby crafting, but she does do a great job. And I had to learn something too. What she's saying about the way you take care of things or the way they last, it is a little different. So like my vests, I wash them sometimes, and depending on the way she presses them, sometimes the washer is just agitating so much that it can loosen up some of the stuff. So I'll hand wash like my vests and let them dry. So
it's more so the softener.
It's a soft. Yeah, I do use
and
softener.
That's why on the tags, when you wash anything, anytime you buy anything from anybody that is handmade using heat transfer vinyl, you should not use softener. And technically, you really should let it. You should let it. You can put it in the dryer, but you should let it air dry more.
Yeah.
And that's why on the tags I put that out there. So when I do sell them, and then I've kind of gotten into a new thing called DTF, direct transfer. Direct transfer. I forget what it's called, but it's basically where it's printed vinyl. The last big order I just did for the Badgers.
Yeah.
So I actually outsource. So sometimes I will out a large order if it's very fine detailed. I'll outsource it.
Okay.
And then, the last order I did for work, just because I didn't have time, because I will sit there, and one of the ways I show my appreciation to my staff, because right now the role I'm in is as I'm a director of a childcare center. So like staff appreciation, or, probably 2-3 times a year, I do a staff shirt. And so this last one, just because I did not have time to do 14 shirts, I outsourced it. And I sent the design to the printer, and the printer mailed them to me. So there's so many ways. And I will say, you always encourage me to go on a bigger scale and possibly make this a family business where we all, can pitch in and we all can do things, and that can be a different journey. However, for me, it's just right now, because it is not my safe place, but my just relaxing place.
It's like a getaway.
Right. It turns into a job when you create your own business. And I love and I will support small business, and the ladies and the guys out there that do this every day, and they sell it on eBay and Etsy and all that. I give them the credit, because a lot of times they're doing orders at 2-3 o'clock in the morning to get that order out in time. I'm not about that life. I like my sleep. I like to sleep at night. And then we'll
get her there, people. Don't worry about it.
But I will say, if somebody contacts me and they say, hey, can you do this for me? I will say I like doing that. I like sharing my capabilities with others. So that's why, when you have people contact me and say, hey, this is, kind of what I'm looking for. Can you do it? I do like doing it.
Yeah.
But it's
Like
here and there.
like super last minute, not to cut you off, but I had at my job a manager that I was really, really cool with, and not just because, like, oh, he just, I liked him, he liked me, like I liked his work ethic, he appreciated my work ethic, and he just transferred and he's like gone. So like we had an appointment that got canceled, and literally like in the moment I'm like, can you make him a shirt? And we sat down, and like within 15 minutes I texted another manager to see like what his shirt size was and all that, and we got that thing done. Well, she got that thing done within an hour.
Right.
Like an hour of finding out about it. She does have, like, she's cataloged, she's got many shirts, many colors, and she hadn't had them cataloged. They're like right around the corner there, and I put up some shelving so she could fold them neatly and put them away. So she really does have a good turnaround. And there's already been people at my job that have like been bugging me, and I'm like, I try to tell them that she's not trying to be, bombarded. And if I know she has time, and I know what she has going on at work, sometimes she's busy. So, I'm trying not to push her, but we're going to go ahead and put her information out there. If anybody's interested, those of you that reached out to me or said something on the job, we'll get her information out there. You can contact her directly, and also through me, but maybe we can get her going a little bit more if she sees that it's not as taxing as she might think it is. And I told her to teach me too, because I would like to learn and help and support as well. So it's been a great journey. We started in this very room. This is actually, we have a pretty large.
We started in the back.
We started this in the back?
So we have two sides of our house. And
is it back where I am now?
Yes. And
really?
so like that. Yes, because I had the brown desk.
Yeah.
And so that was my craft. That was my crafting space.
I do not remember that.
And then it was actually over on that side of the room. So like when we first built our house, he redid our house, he had his shop in the house. So where
we are right now, I used to do hair out of here.
Right. And there was two areas of it. And so now that is like half our bedroom over there, and then half, my crafting space. But when I first got that press, I was over there, and our bedroom was over here.
It was. Whoa.
And then, so all the shelving you see, he created. This countertop, he created. And like even my desk. So like it's grown. It was a very small, I will say, like a large folding table and desk. It started off that way.
It did.
And then like the more materials I bought. So like even how my glitter, I said I started with craft glitter and then moved to this glitter. And same thing, I would buy my shirts from Joann Fabrics or Michaels, and now I order them online on bulk. So like I didn't even realize how many shirts I had until last week. They were all falling off the shelf.
They were piled up this high. I'm like, what are you doing over there? She was just typing and folding.
I was folding them, so I folded them also. Like, because a lot of times people ask me, oh, well, do you have this shirt? Can you make this shirt? And so now it's so much easier to say, yeah, I have that size, I have that color, or no, right. I have to order it.
Very easy.
So that's like, he wanted a shirt today, and I'm like, well, what color do you want? So I was like, oh.
She literally just did this one. So,
because he wanted a second one.
Yeah. And we were kind of running late on this. This is a little behind. So I wasn't able to wash it and put it on, because I think if you wear shirts that are brand new, you're kind of gross. Because if you sweat in them, they stink.
It's just, it's a funny feeling when you wear them.
It's nasty. But anyway, I'm not going to judge people, but you're nasty.
But I've gone through different stages. I've gone through different stages of everything. I mean, everything up there. I've done print screen.
Yeah.
I tried print screen once. I like it. It takes a lot, especially if you're doing multiple colors. If you're just doing one color, like I just took it to work, and I did print screen for the kids that were going to the zoo. So the one class wanted so I did that. So I mean, I enjoy it. It is my quiet peace time. I enjoy creating things to make other people happy. So, it's fun. It's fun, and I like the creativity of it. Google's my friend. TikTok gets me in trouble sometimes because I see it on TikTok and I'm like, ooh, I want to do that. I'm like, let's do that next. I buy all the materials and it might sit there for a couple months before I actually do it.
That's a fact.
It just, crafting can be expensive.
It can be. And it is time consuming because when she's working on those big orders, like I'm in the bed and she's like up early and it's just, she's on it. So it can be time consuming. It can be a bit much. But like I said, you know, some of the people that have reached out to me and that want some things, we'll see what we can do to get her going here without putting too much pressure on her. But I'm very proud of her, and I'm glad that it has grown. And it's so funny that she's saying that it came from the back. Like, I forgot all about that. Yeah. But I do remember us starting in here, and this actually grew. When I painted the walls and we did like some different stuff and did all this shelving, it was more so she could show this off. I wanted her to start doing some videos where I'm not even in it. It's not Awesome Charles Andre. It's Absolutely Blissful Creations with Sharon or something.
A lot of people encourage me to do a YouTube channel and to do tutorials on how to use the vinyl, how to, you know, create the cups and stuff. It's just timing.
Timing. We'll get back on it and we'll get to it, you know. So if you've hung in here this long, thank you. And there is a treat for you that I don't think she's going to punch me in the arm for. So in 2021, because I told you that this has been a journey, some things I've been putting off. We sat, actually, she was on this side. I was on the other side of the table, and we were using these mics and everything, but I didn't have the camera yet because I had sold my last camera because I was like, I'm not going to do this because I was doing it for other people. So we did a test run on talking about a subject that got a little lengthy. It's like maybe 25 minutes maybe of us talking. And it's a thing that I wanted to do for a very long time, which is go on The Amazing Race, which is a couples show that I think her and I could do well. We got married very young. We did not have a honeymoon. So I'm like, well, we could go see the world and maybe win $1 million. What's better than that? And she thinks we'll fight, get divorced, and all this stuff. I'm like, so there's a actual audio podcast that I'm gonna add as a bonus episode right after we wrap this up, and you guys can hear us talk about that. And this was like 2 years ago. Might have been like 2 years ago, but it's a hilarious episode because you hear me and her just back and forth on why we shouldn't do it. It's hilarious. And I've been holding on to it. And she finally said I could do it.
You know, when only one person's laughing, it's really not funny, right?
Or it's so funny. Anyway, thank you, Sharon, for sharing with us. And we're going to also do some more, like, she wanted to actually show the press in that, but I didn't want to have to do so much editing because I wanted to just get in here and introduce some of you that have been wondering who deals with me. She's the one who
23 years. Me. No, technically more than 23 years.
Well, we'll go with 23. Okay.
So. Legally 23.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. All right, until the next episode, thank you. Stay tuned for the bonus.
See ya.
Bye. Thank you. Welcome to Charles Andre Podcast. I am Charles. This is my wife, Sharon. Say hello.
Hello.
And this is a test podcast that may be posted, so we'll see. I might have to edit that out. But we're going to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart that she does not care about, The Amazing Race, and her and I being on The Amazing Race as contestants that I think could either be famous or infamous. What say you, Sharon? Are we going to do it?
No.
Why?
Because.
Why?
Yeah, because I'm not going on national TV and making a fool of myself.
What's foolish about trying to win $1 million while we're racing around the world? Now, during a pandemic, I can see that being a problem. Yeah. But you've been saying no for years.
Yes. Because even though we work well together, there are times where we do not work well together.
That is called an American marriage. Or I guess I should say marriage anywhere. Americans aren't the only miserable people on earth.
Listen. There's many differences that will end us in divorce court.
Ow.
Or the morgue for one of us.
No. We'll be good. Divorce court, that's always a itchy little subject to talk about. It just feels nasty. Because I don't think that whatever I would say, I've probably already said the worst things I could ever say to you. And you've probably said nowhere near the worst things you could probably say to me because you're nicer than me. But I just don't see it that way.
How many couples go in there without the fights and arguments?
Not many. Yeah. That's part of the, like, I like the show because of that, because it brings something else. You can tell when people are having a real argument or not. And I'm not saying I'm looking for arguments, but what I do like, I love to see real people doing something you're getting a real reaction from those people. Like, you know, if it's an oh shit reaction, it's oh shit, this is crazy. Or if it's like a happy reaction, it's real happiness. Or if they're annoyed. There's nothing better than when I see people annoyed and they don't say they're annoyed. You could just see it.
And you would be annoyed 24/7.
No, I don't think I would. I think I would be ready to embark on this journey that don't look at me like that. That was my announcer voice a little bit. No, but for real, I think we could do it. I think that we work well together, but the things that you do well, I don't do well. The things I do well, you don't do well, and that's a good team.
Right. I think we could go far, but is it worth making a spectacle of yourself?
Possibly. We're talking about $1 million. Some people they win rides on there, vacations, trips, all kinds of stuff. It's like, even when you lose, you win on that show. This is the way I feel about it. The only thing that's messed up is the pandemic, because a lot of people got a chance to travel before all that garbage. And I remember us watching episodes where these people are like in like Thailand and like France, and I think they went to Japan one time.
They go many places.
They go places that I would want to go, like stuff that looks like a screensaver.
Yeah, but you don't really get to experience that.
Huh?
You really don't get to experience it.
Wait a minute, because when they have those pit stops, it depends on when they get there. If they get on one of them pit stops, they don't race again. Like if they get there at 9:45 p.m., they don't race again until 9:45 a.m. So they have like 10 hours that they're not doing any. You think them people sleep in all 10 hours?
Okay, but
even if I'm only looking at something from a balcony, I would love to just. I mean, that's just me. Let me let you speak, because I'm telling you how I feel about it, and I want to do it. And I guess you should be talking more to me because you don't want to do it, and I want to see why. Well, I guess on tape, because I've heard this before, people.
Exactly. You know exactly why. Because, okay, fine. Let's put it out there. You can be a straight up asshole.
Yes.
So I know that, and I deal with it. Mm-hmm. Because and that's not like you're an asshole all the time.
No.
But, yeah, no, I'm not going to be on national TV and you get upset because I made the wrong move or didn't go fast enough. So then your assholeness comes out because you're competitive. Not that you're really meaning it, but because your competitive side comes out. Then yeah, no. Because you know me, I'm going to shut down and I'm going to sit down like a 2-year-old and say, you do it.
That's true. Well, that leads me to something else, because with this being a podcast, unless people see us and know us personally, I'm not a small person and my wife isn't small either, but the things that are big about her are the things that I love the most on a woman. But
yeah, no. See, listen, this is not being posted.
But look, I'm not being serious. We're not. I feel like anytime I've ever watched Amazing Race, I'm watching dudes with like 6-pack abs and chicks that can like hula hoop through a Cheerio. I think they should have real size people.
They do.
Race. Man,
they do.
If I gotta go back, I don't think I've ever seen people that like look like normal sized people. It's always these fitness looking.
Well, because
I don't eat nothing but ramen noodle. Well, no, ramen noodles ain't really that healthy, but I don't even know what would be healthy food. Like people eat like.
Well, because most people know they are not. They don't have the physical stamina to do that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Give other people a chance and make it like literally more people that are like,
If those type of people don't apply because they know they can't do it.
I do it, and I'm not a small dude. You are faster than you look like you would be, and I know I'm more athletic than I look like I would be. There are people out there that just happen to not be like super small people. Sometimes, like I watch that show, I'm like, how can they find people that don't eat anymore? Like, seriously,
You have to train and prep.
I want a
something
parents
like that.
edition. Like these people do not have kids. Some of them, you can tell.
I think some of them do. And then that's another thing.
How
So
you gonna
what
tell
are you
me
doing
don't
with
post this? This is good stuff so far.
what are you doing with the kids?
Oh, here we go. Well, we have family. Well, in light of COVID and all the stuff, and how health can change, I think that between siblings, as you would put it, it could be helped. Seriously, my family, your family, we could work together. Sit them down individually, or we can talk to them, say, hey, this is what we're trying to do. I mean, we said, well, first of all, we have to get accepted, because I don't think it's like as soon as you send in a video, and even if they want you, they say you
Well,
there's
no.
steps, I'm sure.
Right, because like the new season just is about to start, I think next week or so.
But I think they're doing some weird thing. They were saying something about they're not racing like they were racing before. Like
Probably because of the pandemic.
Yeah, no, that sucks, man. That's not fair. Yeah, I feel like.
So then fine. We'll table it, and maybe in 3 years when the pandemic is
Well,
over.
we got to put something out there to see.
But
if
you
we can
also
even
think
get in,
about
though.
it. You're 41. I'm 40.
Mm-hmm.
Which is younger.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
But I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying I wouldn't want to do it, but I don't want to do it.
That makes sense.
No, there's like, if I could edit and choose what parts were shown and what parts were not shown.
That's never going to be how that works.
Then-
Never. You're never going to be able to tell a network television. Half the time, if they pick up on the stuff that you're even saying, they'll probably try to make me look like more of an asshole than I am, because, he's got a little, what about that time when he did this and it did this, and remember he looked that way and she looked that way and it looked like they were, like, that's just what they're going to do. So, even the nice couples, they made them look like jerks after a while, because eventually you're going to have an issue.
And plus, I don't know how to drive a stick.
don't
They
either.
always have at least one
do.
place where you
They
have to
do.
drive a stick car.
They do.
And I know so many couples have been kicked lose because they don't know how to drive a stick car. So if neither one of us know how to drive a stick car, we're not going
We
anywhere.
can practice it. I don't care if we have to go buy a little beater stick car and practice.
Yeah.
We could do that. It's not that hard, because those are stick cars, but those are like, they're driving probably like, whatever the modern year is, up to date. They're probably maybe a few years behind. Like, it's 2022 now. They probably got you in a 2019, 2020. You're not going to be driving garbage. So I'm sure like it's not that hard to shift, and it'll be a little smoother than you would think. And honestly, I would be doing the driving. Even though I don't like, I've been in a stick. This was a long time ago. My dad had that U-Haul truck, right? I actually was in that, and he was trying to teach me how to drive stick in that truck. So I remember it. It wasn't smooth, but I remember some of it. So if you put me behind a stick, I could do it. And you have that Sequoia now, and not to say that's not stick, but you know how it kind of goes over, and like the way
It's not the
All
same
right.
at all.
Okay.
Because you were driving with both of your feet.
True.
Yes, I have a shifter that's like a stick, but that's not nowhere near the same thing.
Well, all we can do is try. Isn't that what you tell children? Like, you do early childhood education, and they're all to try their best.
Yeah, I'm going to try my best not to look like a fool.
Right. While doing it, right? We're going to do it. I don't know. I feel like it should be something we can do together, and actually, I believe we could win. I do.
I don't know. Nothing is ever impossible. But I don't know if I don't know.
$1 million. $1 million.
$1 million nowadays is
$1 million.
nothing. Is nothing. It's more.
Nothing.
It's more than what we have now, but still, $1 million.
When you think we just clipped.
When you
that got loud.
When you think about it, $1 million nowadays doesn't get you much.
Okay.
It's expensive living.
I'm gonna have to learn that one. I need to learn that lesson. That's a lesson I'm gonna need to learn. Yeah, $1 million ain't that much, you know. I mean, I went right through that first half of the meal. You know, $500K. I mean, I ran through it. Like, I want to know what that feels like.
You would.
Wait,
you are a shopaholic. You are a shopaholic.
I've been bad. I'm not as bad as I used to be. Well, I mean,
Amazon comes to the front door for you than
more
me.
Than it used. More less now than it used to is what I mean to say.
But you still order more than I do.
I do. Well, actually, my latest kick has been Adidas. Really. Adidas
right.
With that 5% off on that Cash App.
Your spending habits.
Actually, we need to get a Cash App together because that's what they say now when they do it. Like, hit my Cash App. Oh, yeah, it's too early. It's like episode, not even 1. This is episode 0. Mm-hmm. So, okay. I mean, I feel like it should be fine, but
I don't know. Who knows? One day it would. Maybe it would. And one day maybe you will actually talk me into doing it.
Yeah, it'll be the wheelchair edition as long as you want me to wait.
Well, seeming that you're 41, you're not far from that.
You know what? I'm doing very well because something amazing happened this holiday season, and we'll shift off of the Amazing Race a little bit here. I work at an Amazon hub, and there was drawings for all these different things. And I won a 65-inch TV, and I found out about it on Christmas Eve while I was at work. And I held it until my second break. I was able to not say anything on my first break to my wife. On my second break, I called her and just couldn't hold it anymore. Won a 65-inch TV. It was a nice one, the TCL UKD. What is it? UHD? Whatever. I don't know. It's a 4K TV. And it was nice. It's really nice. And I didn't actually have time because I was working mandatory overtime all the time. I didn't have time to get my wife anything. And I was able to bring that home and do a little show game with the TV we had near our bed and put that in her workspace, which is where we are right now. So that was amazing, which actually goes right into the next thing. What my wife does where we're sitting right now. She is a part-time sometime crafter, which I want her to be more often crafter because she's good at it. And she has developed a name, Absolutley Blissful Creations. You can find her page on Facebook. She's really good at it. Right?
There's really nothing up on my Facebook page. I haven't posted on there in over a year. She
has things on there that she's done. Well, we're looking at something now. One of the girls I work with, she's a cool girl that does driver training, and my wife has put so much stuff on. I found because when we go out to load, we always have to have reflective vests on, but we definitely have to have reflective gear on. And now it's wintertime. So I bought what did it say on the back? I bought a reflective black
something waste. It was like a garbage truck driver's coat.
Yeah. So I bought it, and I just had a vision of what I wanted on it, and I love Batman. So she put this big Batman symbol on the back, and I just thought of Army of One. Not even from that video game. It just made me think of Army of One because that's just how Batman is. He rolls pretty much alone for the most part while he's doing what he does. So she put Batman symbol on it, Army of One. On the front, there was a little spot where it had the waste company name, and she put the DC logo on that. And I walk around with it, and people didn't know my name, so they just started calling me Batman. And it was hilarious because she's done stuff like that. And I have another vest that I put on when I don't want to wear that heavy coat, and it's the Punisher. So... And at the bottom, it has my name. It says Charles at the bottom. And this young lady saw me, and she's like, so who did that? And I'm like, my wife did it. And she was like, oh, I would like that. Because they have these real basic, like name tags that almost look like the label maker name tags, but they're extremely big because they're on the back of a, you know, reflective vest. So it's like this reflective vest with this white background, like this big rectangular square, rectangle. Haha. I know my shapes. But it's their name is going across this, like, it looks like a little ticker tape that comes out of the label maker. And I'm like, that is so bland and boring. And they'll have like their names on it, little this, little that, or whatever nickname they want to be called. And I'm like, my wife is putting all this decorative stuff, and she can put reflective on top of black or whatever to make something look nice. So she's actually working on that today. I'm looking right at it, and she was already doing some stuff. And then I bugged her to do a little podcasting so I could test my gear out. So that's what we're doing now. Just a little here and there. So, do you want to talk about what you're thinking about doing with this vest?
Well, with this one, I don't know. I'll check with her again, but she really just wants her name in a small logo design.
She said she liked bunnies.
But just because you like bunnies, not everybody's you.
That's what she said she wanted. I'm like, what do you want her to put on it? She was like, bunnies. And I just looked at her like, bunnies? Like, okay.
Well, that I don't know.
I mean, I might have made her feel like that's not what she should do because she said it, and I looked at her like, why? But
well, I mean, with the mock-ups, I can do different things with that. But
I was just thinking Google something to get an idea, like Google image, and like maybe bunnies in a rainbow or something like that. That's what I was thinking.
I don't know if she's 5.
Oh, I mean, now I'm judging her, but now you're judging her too.
Bunnies and rainbows on that's like a 5-year-old.
Ask her. And if she says, "Oh, that sounds so cool," then I get the applause. That's what happens. And I'm like, "Thank you. I'm always right. I don't know another time when I was wrong."
No, I know plenty.
Yeah, most of the time. What is that? Games. My wife plays games on the phone. Like, well, I would say I used to game. I haven't gamed since when I started working at overtime. I stopped playing video games, and I haven't taken the time to play it in recent. And I'm acting as though that's a big deal, but for me, it is a big deal because I play video games a lot. I'm still somewhat a teenager, even though she thinks I'm 41. You could switch those numbers very easily, and I'll be 14. But she wants to call me 41. So that's that. So no idea on what you want to do other than she doesn't want anything but her name and Amazon smile.
I mean, there's different things you can do really with it because you can turn any design into a printout or a cutout. But I mean, she might be as simple. Like, yeah, she has her little pins on there, but those all look like they're pins she's gotten from Amazon.
Yeah, but yeah, she did. That's how they do it. But did you just like, can you click on her? You know, you can tap on the picture on Facebook.
No, I did not Facebook stalker.
I mean, you can kind of see what somebody likes.
But a lot of people have their page private where all you can see is their cover pages. I mean,
that's true.
Profiles.
That's true. But if you tell
for that
her
reason,
like
specifically,
right? I don't think I have mine like that anymore. I did, but remember, I'm 41 years old.
I try to
and I'm just an older man now.
And other people who try to stalk me.
And being an older man, there ain't much reason I see to be secretive about things like that. Yo.
You're so mature.
I try. I really do. I do. Well, I feel like we got to the meat of everything on this one. I just want to listen to it back, to be honest with you, see how it sounds. I think I got the levels down. And I like that we have it where we can hear it.
So this one really would just be something you would put in your, like, oh, I can't think of the word. Not portfolio, in your, almost like portfolio. Portfolio is not the word that I'm looking for though. So like when you do make it, maybe one day you would share it. But yeah, I don't
What,
think this.
this?
Yeah,
Nah. I
because
mean,
it's
I
a
don't know.
test. Because it's a testing one. It's not like an actual. Where that went.
You mean like an archive or something?
Yes, that's the word I was looking for. And it's like one of those ones. Oh, very first, using equipment, testing it out.
Yeah.
You know.
And you probably won't be wanting to do this with me often, so
I mean, every once in a while when there's something
eventually.
to really talk about, but
Yeah, but
I'm not
eventually
a I'm not a big talker. Well, I can't be.
you can be, depending on what the
I was
situation
gonna say
is.
depending on what the topic is, and if I feel like I'm educated enough in the topic. I don't know where that went.
I understand that.
Messenger. But I mean, it's nice. It's a nice set. It is a nice setup. It sounds good. It sounds like the different podcasts and things that you hear. So it's a start, and I think you'll do good.
I think that's the washer going through the spin cycle. I wonder if this is picking that up.
Well, if we could hear it, probably can.
Probably.
I mean, I do.
We
think
wash our clothes. We're not dirty people.
I do think I need to add more onto my Facebook. Charlie said they got to the apartment.
Oh, good for her. Testing equipment. I'm letting Christy know I'm testing equipment because she acted like she didn't understand what I was saying. Because I told her I was going to talk to her about some stuff since she's a school teacher and she has all this stuff, these stories about, COVID and how they're handling it. And I could do my own talk about it. Actually, you could do your own. And that's an interesting thing because you got to hear how people want to tell you how to feel and what they think. And it's like, I can tell you exactly how I feel because this is the situation and this is what I deal with every day that I go to work. So you can't tell me how to feel about what I experience and what happens to me. So that's what it is. Yeah. But thank you for your time. We got to 24 minutes and counting. So that's not bad.
So a typical one's about half an hour.
About that. I mean, obviously everybody wants to get to that Joe Rogan level where he's like on there for like 2 hours, 3 hours with people, but they're like talking, drinking, eating, getting cigars, going to the bathroom. He got a bunch of stuff going on. Every time they only show the little part, but every time people sit down, from where he moved from California to, I think he's in Texas now. Like they're like, oh, the setup is like whatever he has there. I guess he has like a gym and he has like stuff there. So yeah, that'd be nice. But I just like the freedom to be able to express myself, and I love talking to other people and seeing different insights and talking about different things. I do have a long-winded format in the way I talk, so this probably would work for me.
Absolutely.
So, well, that is going to be all for this one, people. Thank you for... Why am I talking like I'm going to post this? I'm not. This probably could be, like you said, something I keep in an archive, and if it goes really well, and it's like, hey, and because I hear it sometimes when I listen to, like, Bill Burr, he'll just throw some stuff out there from, like, years ago, and it's like, and it might be stuff he posted already, but people just wanted to hear it. So,
right.
We will see. Well, thank you, Sharon, and Amazing Race, here we come.
Absolutely.
Bye.